Man, Moya light, Moya bright. Welcome to another Moya live stream. We are gonna be so busy with you today with the live streams. 4 live streams today on Moya. So brace yourselves. Thank you to everybody who is liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you to the members, especially who are helping us grow the channel financially. We're just waiting for our guest, Jacinta Ngobese. We're going to unpack the immigration crisis. So, this is one of those guests for me that it's a bit challenging. The topic is a little bit challenging. I'm just buying time for her because I did say that we're going live at 1:30. So it was already 25 to 2, and I am a Virgo. So everything has to be online for me. So I was going crazier and crazier the longer I waited. So before she joins us, I think maybe if we get the conversation started. Um, Jancita, click on the click on that link I sent you, please, madam. The link I sent you on WhatsApp so that you can be on screen. You see, I was here judging you, saying you don't keep time, and you just misunderstood. Please click on the link, check your WhatsApp there, so that you can be on stage. So, I mean, I used to. Yes, yes, yes. And Male, we are definitely getting the gold. We are seeing the gold you're sending and we appreciate it. We're just waiting for the guest. So today's guest, me and her are always on opposing ends. It's a challenge. But this conversation is national duty. This conversation is affecting everybody. Myself and the fighters are pro Africanism and we are pro removing the borders. However, it actually has some logistical and it has some physical, it's got some mental. Oh my gosh, she seems to be struggling with the link. Let me try send it to her again. So it's impacting us, undocumented immigrants, which I think everybody has got a problem with. Nobody wants undocumented immigrants. But I think that I need to leave this conversation for, I'm sending it to you again, Sissy, um, to unpack it properly for us. Because, like I say, I was very idealistic and about my view about the whole African and immigration issue because my thing was that how come you guys are not attacking Abelung? It's only for black people. So I'm going to sit down with Jancita to I'm just sending her Jancita, it's the StreamYard link, not the YouTube one, the StreamYard link. If you can just click on there, we should be sorted and you should come on backstage. So, I mean, I don't have big opinions about this because I realized that it's deeper than I was seeing. So, amazingly enough, I did just keep quiet and allow the people, oh, excuse me, who are committed to the topic to fight it out. But it is affecting all of us. We're just waiting for our guest to come on backstage so that she can perhaps unpack for us this immigration crisis issue in South Africa in a way that we understand, especially people who are removed from from the problem, I suppose. But I don't know how we are removed from the problem if it is affecting us all. We saw people getting kicked out of hospitals. I think it's completely inhumane. I'm like, wow, how can you do that? But obviously, there are people who feel as if they must do that. So let's hear and get different sides of the story. Jacinta, if you press on that link, oh, but I see you've seen the message. This is a hot topic, and also you've gotten into a lot of trouble for this topic. So we're going to unpack that as well. The price of having a voice in South Africa. Do you get punished? Are there things that you're not supposed to say in terms of the government punishing you for doing your passion? So there's a lot of things we want to talk about. Guys, man, I've got big problems here. We're trying to get Zintle online. We're trying to get Jacinta online. And Kamagwini, we are live. We are having the Afrophobia illegal immigration conversation. Long overdue. Both me and this lady are on opposing sides for most issues. But like we always say that, opinions can differ as long as there's always mutual respect. So we're just trying to see what the problem is. This is usually very, very simple. So angazi ukuthi awuphahlanga nje or yini mamzum, because usually this is very, very simple, but your ancestors, they seem to be blocking us. Let me try call her again and see what the problem is.
I've actually just switched. Now I'm trying to log in with my MacBook because the phone is just not working.
Okay.
I don't know what the issue is. I really don't. But I'm here. I can see and hear everything that you're saying.
All right. No, we're patient. We'll wait for you, my dear.
All right. I'm on it.
All right. Perfect. Because they want to see your pretty face. Great, guys. So, yes, we're just waiting for the guests to come on. This is a hot-heated conversation. Comment section is always open, but I see we're all just quiet. We want to see where we're going with today's conversation. It's not an easy conversation. As I was saying, I think that it's extremely inhumane to kick people out of hospitals, but also as somebody who is part of the public healthcare system and scared to even take one's foot into the hospitals because of the overcrowding. And actually, you know what? Actually, I don't know what I'm scared of, because I've never actually been. One day I must go to Helen Joseph or a public hospital and see how things really are, because sometimes we're just talking from because we can talk. So I just know that I always make sure that, because I know I don't have medical aid, I make sure that I'm always healthy and making sure that I'm always doing the right things for my body. And God forbid, should anything like an accident or something like happen, because that's like my biggest trauma, because I'm like, public hospitals are so fucked up and so dirty and so packed. So that's my perception in my head. So that's why I'm saying that perhaps one day I need to go in there, because that's what the fight is about. Because if it's overcrowded and you're kicking people out, I mean, it's fucked up, but I mean, I sort of understand a little bit, but it's still fucked up, actually. No, there's no excusing kicking people out of hospitals, actually, guys. There's actually no excuse for what's happening, and that's why we want to unpack this topic. Comment section, I always say to you guys, is open. I see Sinulo's got something to say there. Open borders amongst Africans is so crucial. There we go. If we can share data on documentation of every African citizen, we can curb crime and live interbeneficial amongst us. I agree with that. See, I totally agree with that. That's why, I keep going back and forth, because also I don't want to be beaten up by you guys because I saw when I supported Chidima, yo. I had to work on my PR big time there. Our guest is making it backstage. We're just waiting for her video to come on. Uh, and then we can get the conversation started. But okay, she's having connectivity problems. At least we are a little bit one step closer than we were at the beginning of this live, where she was just commenting in comment section. Now she's connecting her devices. We did hear from her to say that she's having problems, so she's connecting on her. Okay, so she's coming on just now. But like I was saying, it is fucked up to kick people out of hospitals, even though I'm saying that I myself am a victim of like needing that very same hospital. Listen to label, you see, maybe all of this stuff is happening in our heads, guys. Public hospitals are the best. It's just that overcrowding issue. But I don't know you to be healed in public if you're admitted there and it will take long or never for you to get it sick again. Okay, I'm gonna have to understand your English there. And in me, I understand English. I am the freaking master. I've got this. We're just waiting. Jancita, we want to add you, but it's not adding your mic and your video yet. So, um, okay, fantastic. You're using another device again. There we go. Hey, girl, you see when you leave things for last minute. We has one.
Yo, Askis. Sorry, we were busy with the document here that we're going to be submitting to the Department of Education. So time completely slipped me.
Good afternoon, Madam Nijani.
I'm very well, thank you. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if I can landscape this video.
That would be stunning. That would be stunning.
Better?
Much, much.
Okay.
Oh, but now it's gone
Let's see.
sideways. Why?
I know.
Why ends I saw?
I don't know. Hi, everyone.
Okay, no, fine. Greetings, sis Ninjani.
Siapila and Tigi Mazwai Urongo. How are you?
I'm happy to be in conversation with you. Gloves are off. I'm here to listen to you today. Um, I mean, it's been a journey for you, and even a personal journey, and it's affected you. It's affected your livelihood. It's affected your day to day. So, I mean, you know my stance on this, and I want you to, knowing where I stand, to unpack for me where what you want me to understand.
I think I don't want you to understand anything. I'm just gonna paint a picture of the realities out there. And these realities come from illegal immigration being ignored to the point where it's badly affected the lives of so many South Africans. Um, I'm talking about not just in healthcare, but in the workplace, schools, homes, in terms of crime, in terms of South Africans starting businesses, and in so many other ways. There's so many things. And the reason that we got here, where I actually wanted to be involved, is because I was receiving so many messages. I mean, so many messages from people with different issues. And for a long time, children started going missing. And when you get a a feel of what is going on out there, it became even more and more scary. So I think that's when the call for action started, and And that's when I started feeling like it's time for all of this to end, which is when we decided that we need to do something about it. There's a lot of issues that come with illegal immigration. There are so many. Public healthcare, I see, is the one that people are generally trying to focus on because obviously that's the one that's out there. But there's so many other things that we're doing on the side that are not just about public healthcare, that have to do with, for example, hijacked buildings. Just this weekend, we were helping about six grannies who have been removed from their homes by people who are illegal immigrants. And it's a reality that a lot of people go through, where they're just removed from their homes illegally, but when they try come back, they are told that they have to follow a legal process, you know. So it's really frustrating, and I'm happy to paint a picture of just how much is going on out there. I can't hear you, Ndigi.
Sorry, I was muted. We do appreciate the painting of the picture because that is exactly what we need. Like, because when you speak about this situation, ne, someone who's not affected by it doesn't understand. So if you can give us examples, Guti, okay, this and this happens. Okay, they steal someone's ID and then this happens, and then this is the implication. Because I don't think we're understanding. Tina's
You see, that's the
black on black violence, Tin.
You see, that's the thing. There's nobody that isn't affected. Absolutely nobody. It's impossible for you to not be affected in one way or another. There's so many things that are going on with illegal immigration that it's impossible that it doesn't affect you. From the crimes out there, we went and listened to the Hawks, and we had meetings with the police actually in terms of crime and statistics and things that illegal immigrants do. And funny enough, so many of them are untraceable. So what happens is the police would take them today. They'd go to court, for example, have an appearance, and they'd get bail, which is strange. Which kind of judge would give an illegal immigrant bail? But they get bail, a whole lot of them. They move to another province, they change their names, and then they call themselves someone else. And they discovered this because when they find their fingerprints, they have different names. So that's the crimes. Second to that, well, there's a lot of crime. I mean, from even going to Home Affairs, there's a new thing now where you're in Tigi, and when you go to Home Affairs, you've got 5 children that you don't know, and those children belong to you, but you don't know because when you die, that's when you discover, and your children are meant to be getting some inheritance or something, but they can't because there's 5 other children that nobody knows. This is happening even to Auntie Landlin has the same problem where their mother suddenly has children that they don't know, and she can't even do her own things because there's these siblings that she doesn't know. um from there, there's an issue of oh, there's so much. These tuck shops that are there. I'm trying to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to cover everything, but there's just so much wrong going on. The tuck shops. Now, obviously, those tuck shops are unregistered. They're selling expired goods. On top of that, children have passed away and died. On top of that, these same people that they're allowed to rent out their homes, they are targeting old people now to rent in their homes. You know why? Because when they want them gone, they can't remove them. So they make these tuck shops their home, and once you want them gone as an adult person, they refuse. On top of that, there's a spaza shop mafia now, where when you open a spaza shop as a South African, they kill you because it's a whole syndicate or ring. I don't know what to call it. They call it a business where when you're not South African and you enter in their area because they create their own food. So they've got these supermarkets that they say are supermarkets where they're duplicating whatever type of food that they have, and then they use these as um, ways of creating their own economy. Mind you, these people do not pay any taxes towards the country because they literally basically don't exist. They are not registered, they're not tax compliant, etc., etc. This I can go on all day. Then these same tuck shops have a number of young girls being raped inside the tuck shop. I'm sure you've seen these stories, and we followed up on about 10, 12 of them, where these same people are taking girls inside their tuck shops and raping them. But where do you ever find them? They disappear because they can't be found. You this is remember this is the problem with people who just come in from other countries. They have different cultures. So to them, they see nothing wrong with this because in their homes, wherever they come from, women don't have rights. Women are not humans, if I can put it that way. They're just people that they can use. So it's becoming more and more a common thing because they don't see it as rape. They think it's a normal thing. From now, sure, there's so much. Yeah, I can go on all day, but I want to take you back to the hospitals. Now, with the hospitals, a lot of people are critical of what we're doing because they call it inhuman, as you mentioned yourself. Now, here's the thing, Ntigi. You're a traveler. I know you travel. Which country gives you free healthcare when you travel? Just name one.
You know, this is a tricky conversation because you know that in London everyone gets free healthcare.
No, not really. Not if you're a traveler or a
Or you
foreigner
just
for
mean
that
as
matter.
travelers.
No, I mean like a foreigner or illegal immigrants, because that's where the conversation is. We're not talking about people in the country, remember. We're talking about people that we don't know, who are undocumented, who are not known to the country. We don't know how many. That's another thing, because there's an influx of them. Do you have a country that you travel to, and then they just give you free medication or free surgery or free procedures?
I'm going to fact check this one because I know in the UK you get free healthcare.
No, there's no country.
And
The only country that gives you free healthcare would be Brazil. Now let me tell you about South Africa. With South Africa, because remember, Brazil at least knows how to manage their borders, unlike us. So here's what has happened when it comes to South Africa's free healthcare. One, we have a number of people coming into the country, even on a daily basis, coming from any country in South Africa. Remember, there's this thing that you've got 30 days to come into South Africa, and with your passport, or even if you don't, you just show up. Several people come from everywhere in South Africa to get free access to healthcare. Mind you, this does not only include emergencies, it includes procedures where people have cancer or whatever, and they come from anywhere in the globe and they sit and wait to get these procedures. When you, as a South African, are waiting on the list as a cancer patient or whatever, you will come and you're number 7 on the list. And you have to wait maybe for 10 years to get this procedure because there's 6 illegal immigrants in front of you, and you
can
can't
I
get
go
that
back to your
healthcare.
question? Because I see
Yes.
someone's responding there. It says several countries offer universal health care, meaning they provide free or heavily subsidized health care to their citizens and sometimes residents. Examples include Brazil, UK, Canada, Australia, Norway, Denmark, and Sweden.
You're talking about citizens, Ziggy. I'm talking about the general public, which is illegal immigrants and foreigners. You don't get free healthcare if you're a foreigner. You don't. You, as Ntiki, cannot go to the UK and get free healthcare because
You
you need to go
can,
to the
babe.
U.
You
No, you
can.
can't. You
You
cannot.
can.
You
I
need
know
to
people
have.
who do this.
You need to have
I'm
medical
just trying to.
insurance. I'm almost sure of this. Well, I don't have my. Oh, yeah. You need to have medical insurance. Mind you, our own constitution and our own immigration, well, our own immigration act actually says the same thing. That if you're a foreigner and you come to South Africa, you need to have medical insurance. Our own immigration act says that. It doesn't say that you come to South Africa and you get free healthcare. It doesn't say that. You can go to our Immigration Act and you will see that. It says if you are coming to South Africa, you need to have medical insurance. It's there in the Immigration Act.
Okay, no, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm not. I'm listening, babes.
Right. And the
Yeah.
other thing that I'm going to raise is that Mtsigi, we can't run a country on feelings. Because you feel that you need to do this and do that. Everything needs to be economical, it needs to be sustainable, and it needs to make sense. Now, if you're saying to me, Ntigi, that it's inhumane for people to not be allowed to come to a country and get access to free things, then I'm sorry, because that's not how a country is supposed to be run. We don't run countries on feelings. Now, here's another problem that's come with illegal immigrants coming into the country. There's a whole syndicate, I'll call it that as well, that come into the country and has consistently been caught coming to South Africa to collect free medication. They come here month to month, they get medication, they go to whichever country. Is gone. Is she here?
I'm here. I just put it on
Oh,
so low so that people can read the
oh, you can
comments.
search. Okay,
I'm
no,
here.
it's fine.
Yes.
So I'm saying that come into the country, they collect medication, they go to their countries and they start a business with the same medication. South Africans, I'm talking about something that I know every single day when we go to hospitals, run out of medication all the time. And when they run out of medication, they're told by these hospitals that they have to go buy them at pharmacies. And these people have already finished the medication, by the way, because they're not here genuinely sick. They're here because they want to collect medication and run their businesses wherever they are. Also, there's so many reasons that I have a problem with people misinterpreting our constitution to suit whatever that they want to suit. Nowhere in the constitution does it say that people must access public health care, like everyone in South Africa must access public health care, blah 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 blah, that whole story. One, when we are at the hospital, we make it clear that you're not an emergency case, because that's what the Constitution talks about, that you have to be an emergency case. We don't even go to the emergency section of these hospitals or whatever. That's not our place. We leave that to the hospital to sort out. But you can't come into the hospital and be an illegal immigrant and not have an ID, because this is standard procedure. Everyone is supposed to carry an ID anyways. So we're just verifying that you have your ID. If you don't have your ID, how are you going to get helped inside the hospital? Because the hospital is meant to help people that it identifies, so that it has a track record of their files and says, this is Jacinta. She is sick and she has this and this and this. Right? So when you go into the hospital, there's nothing untowards about asking someone for their ID in hospital. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And then when you talk about the Section 27, I still am of the belief that when they talk about everyone, they talk about South Africans. Let me tell you why I say this. Because when it says everyone has a right, that everyone is consistent in the Constitution. It doesn't only speak about healthcare. It speaks about social grants, it speaks about housing, it speaks about water, etc., etc. But you would never have anyone questioning whether illegal immigrants must get free houses or they must get free grants, etc., etc. It's only when it comes to the healthcare that people are now up in arms, saying that Section 27 talks about a free healthcare, which it doesn't. I still say that everyone is talking to South Africans. Second to that, Section 27 talks about you have to provide that healthcare within your limited resources. Now you tell me, if there is no medication, if there's no space for South Africans, etc., 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 how can you tell me that those resources are not limited? Of course they're limited. And if they're limited, constitutionally, you have a right to say, I'm sorry, I can't give you healthcare because we do not have enough resources to cater for the whole continent. It only makes sense. Now there are billions of people in the continent. Is it fair to expect South Africa to be able to cater for them? If you have been to those hospitals, you will see the dire conditions that women in South Africa find themselves in, giving birth on the floor. Have you seen them giving birth on the floor? South African women. While we busy saying that, oh, we want to be humane to the rest of Africa, it's time that we need to decide who deserves healthcare. Is it us who are born here, or are we going to cater for the whole world? Because if we're saying everyone, it's not just limited to Africa. It's unlimited. It's unlimited. So I think there's a lot of unfairness in the analysis of this healthcare system, because we want to focus on the people that are coming from outside, and we forget the people that are inside the country. We've got grannies all the time. If you were to go to the ground today, you'd see old grannies saying, I have to carry a lunchbox from 4 in the morning. The latest I arrived home was 7 in the afternoon. Is that fair? Is that humane, Tigi? Is that humane? So while you want to cater to grannies or whoever it is from wherever that they come from, whose government doesn't even care, what is the risk that you're running to South Africans?
What do you think the solutions are to this situation?
We've given plenty of solutions. We've given plenty of solutions. And I think, like I said, there's so many problems that deal with illegal immigration, but the system has allowed it for so long that now that we're standing up and doing something about it, seems like we're being inhumane, which we're not. Because if the system is saying, let me give you an example of something outside of healthcare. If the system is saying, it claims that everyone must get education, as some people claim, and you have a child in the house that doesn't have a spot in a school because that spot has been given to Okonkwo from Nigeria, because we're trying to accommodate the whole of Africa. Does that seem fair to a South African born child to say you're not able to get a spot in the school because we're trying to cater to all these undocumented children inside these schools? Of course, it's not fair. The first and most important thing is for government to put South Africans first. That's the first and that's the first thing before anything. You will not access healthcare as a priority to South Africans. You will never access schools as a priority to South Africans. You will never even get a job as a priority to South Africans, because currently we have a high unemployment rate, but a high number of people coming into the country to get jobs. Does that make sense? And they are working, but South Africans are not working. Which government allows that? Which government says, oh no, it's fine, come, the whole of Africa must get jobs here, because now that's why we're getting sworn at by people from outside, telling us that we're lazy, we're not hard workers. They are here doing the work. You allow your own citizens to become victims of people from outside because you put them in a system or in a situation where they cannot compete, because these people are cheap labor. You don't pay them. My line is bad. Oh, sorry.
Mm,
I'm not sure what's going on. I'm trying to
mm.
move. Does that help? No.
It's terrible, but you were in the spirit, and we can hear you, but the line is terrible.
Oh my.
Um, yeah, you sound like it feels like there's a cyber attack.
I'm hacked. I know I am.
Yes, it
Yeah,
sounds like that.
I am. I know I am for the longest time. They think
Yes, even me, even me, I'm a problem child in the country. So we are here together in in CIA. Okay, let's try again. Uh, okay, unmute again. Let's see.
so bad. I can hear it still sounds very.
Yes. and we've got till 20 past 2. I don't know if you want to log off and log on again for the last 10 minutes, ne? Because that'll help us a lot. Guys, remember we have these conversations so that we can expand our minds and from both ends. So let's refrain from attacking each other in the comment section, please. We are all learning. We all need to understand each other. And the best way to move forward as a community is if we actually listen to each other. Jacinta, are you hanging or? Yeah, your network was the problem actually. So let's see, Jacinta is gonna log off and log on again. Yes, of course, Puluka, of course. I know it's the topic that's the problem. I know it's the topic that's the problem. We're just gonna wait for our guest. It's our last 10 minutes with her. Remember, at 2:30, we're hanging out with Ndate Steve Libello. Today is Soweto Day. So with whatever year it was, Soweto was established on this day. So we're going to learn the history. Remember, we like to get the education that we're not going to get anywhere else. There we go. That's much better, my sister. Yes. Okay. Hey, not amazing, but a little bit better. Besikhuluma ngama-solution ukuthi, so how do we, what can we do to make things better for us or to change the situation?
Look, I think the situation has gone on for so long that illegal immigrants have become very
Eish,
comfortable, very entitled.
it's still bad, yes?
Okay, let me try see if I walk around this house. Does it sound better?
Yes, I think
Still?
so. Better.
Okay, let me try remove the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, maybe come on to data. E-Wi-Fi sometimes, rain is such a rip-off, guys. I don't know what we're paying for. Are you getting sorted, sis?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little bit better actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm walking around like a mad person here. So
Okay,
what
that's
was I
a tiny
saying?
bit better. We're talking about
Okay.
solutions. How do we navigate around this?
I think the first solution, first of all, is because our government has become very comfortable with the situation. I feel like knowing our government, they love creating problems so that we need more money to solve them, if you know what I mean. So the more people are here, the more they need a budget, and the more they need a budget, the more they want. So it's to them, there's no bigger picture. They don't realize that the more people that you don't know that are here in the country, the more problems you're creating, even for your own citizens. So as I said, we as the citizens need to make sure that we stand up. First of all, we need to make it uncomfortable for any illegal immigrant to be here. Stop giving them jobs more than anything, because once they don't have jobs, then they've got no reason to come here. They're coming here because there's jobs. There's jobs that I don't know where they're getting, but South Africans don't have. They need to have no access to our resources, whether it's be schools, whether it's be whatever or whatever. Renting properties to them has become a disaster for so many because they refuse to be removed. And this is a problem that a lot of South Africans have faced. And when you tell them to stop renting out, they think that it's because you are jealous of their business success or their business model, until they refuse to get out of your house, and then you have a problem. And then it becomes all our problem because you've been aiding and abetting an illegal immigrant. Also, if the laws of this country were actually being enforced, we wouldn't be here, by the way. Because even by law, you're not allowed to aid and abet an illegal immigrant because you have committed a crime, and you also should be getting arrested. So also, the enforcing of the laws in the country is terrible because our own police
Ugh,
and
they're the
and
NGOs
so I'm
again.
here. Sorry, I think
Okay.
there's a call that came in. So there's so many problems that have come because of illegal immigrants, because they've been enabled, one, by our politicians who have been benefiting from the mess. And these politicians have been coming and we've seen even with Mkwanazi highlighting the crimes that have gone on in terms of the drug prostitution rings, etc., etc. So obviously they will enable the system to fall apart and allow for this to happen, because this influx will benefit them. Also, we have police that are benefiting from them, which is very scary, because we're dealing with especially drugs, police are highly involved, like at a high level, at a low level, at every level. They're there, you know. There's the level of policing is poor. Police don't even understand the constitution of the country. They don't. They come to you and you have to explain to them, no, Puti, this is what the law actually says. And it's because they're also deployed from someone who doesn't know the law themselves, which is also another problem, because why are you saying so
Mm.
we've got a lot of problems, you see, a lot of problems. And even from these young girls who are being prostituted to these kids whose body parts are missing, there's a whole business around it. Now kidnappings are a big thing, you know. There's a whole kidnapping ring from Mozambique with kingpins and this. Everything in South Africa has a syndicate, even touch shops, even businesses. There's mafia. Oh, we've got so many problems as a country.
The
We've got a
gremlins have got us again. You know that. Our schools were food.
I can hear.
Ish.
I can hear.
Okay. Ish. Yeah, it's so tricky. Oh, someone is asking, Guti, do you know about the digital nomads protest in Brazil? And would you be willing to support something like that? Which is something I wanted to find out also, because in Cape Town, Kolabelung Lapaya, and then they busy making the property values go up, and we are going to be shut out of the Western Cape in in less than 5 years. So, what are your thoughts on that as well?
Look, I think all the whole dysfunction that's happening, even from illegal immigrants to digital nomads, is planned. And I do think that white people benefit the most from all of it. They benefit from diluting us as South Africans as much as possible, to a point that we don't exist. But with the digital nomads, it's basically us being replaced. We're just really being replaced by people who claim they're here bringing businesses or better skills or better anything. I saw a property in Cape Town, one bedroom, one bathroom for 20,000 rand. 20. I was like, this is ridiculous. They're trying to make it's going to start with Cape Town, because obviously that's where they dominate. That's where they have the power and the ability to make rules and govern. But it's going to move on and on, because we're going to start seeing as people who are not able to run the country, which is true. We've allowed ourselves to fall into that trap because of corruption. And then it'll happen. It'll keep getting. You see, that's why we have um, in Limpopo people from Dubai coming there and building their own provinces or country, within the country, because nobody's monitoring that. The Chinese are also there now, creating their own economy in their own country. Everyone in South Africa is creating their own things for their own benefits. And the only people that suffer, or the ones that suffer the most, is black people. So think about it. That's why the illegal immigrant story bothers me so much, because I understand that it's not the bigger picture. But once that happens and people start owning economies in their different countries, becoming countries, who's going to be left scrambling for that? We are. We are. And we're scrambling for it with people coming from their own countries to come here and render us useless. So we're going to see more and more and more useless, because there's these people here who have come and are taking over everything. But our government is so short-sighted because once you give a black person money, you basically own them, which is the saddest thing about our leaders. They are owned by people from cartels, people from different countries. Anyone who has money in South Africa comes and owns the system and owns the politicians. And it's really sad and pathetic, really. And I keep saying the only people that will fight this is South Africans. It's South Africans. Because we can see that the system is going to make it very difficult to fight people at the top. Start here, go up, remove from bottom right to the top. Everyone needs to know that South Africa is for South Africans.
True. Yeah. Difficult topic, eh? Difficult topic, and I think we should revisit it one of these evenings when people are at home and comfortable. Maybe find an 8 o'clock slot, and try have this conversation again because it is very in Zulu. There's many. It's got layers. It's got layers. So I just want to
Got
thank
too
you for
many
your
layers.
time. Yeah. Eish, and because the thing is that Abelungu are not going to give up on cheap labor, and that's what the other Africans are. So that's why even I'm an NGO, as a blocker
It's
and
not even
everything.
just the
So
cheap labor aspects. And remember, these people will give them the respect and the yes sir, yes ma'am slave mentality that we don't give them because we're empowered now. We can stand our ground. We know what we fought apartheid. We said no, we don't want the system. But they come here. They're willing to do anything and everything to get like even so it's a slave. They love slaves. They love slaves. So that's why they're not going to be part of this.
sure. Okay, we'll make time, yeah, and have this conversation and unpack it further and see what solutions we can come with. Thank you so much, Mrs. Zuma, for spending time with us.
Thank
And
you.
we do wish you the best. And I'm sure also briefly with your
Job.
case for yes.
Look, I think, I think, I think, lucky for me, I'm very smart. So I don't allow people to get away with things like this. So just stay, yeah, stay connected to me. It's all gonna come out eventually, very
Okay.
soon. Very soon.
Bogoto, happy Women's Month.
Thank you, Ziggy. Thank you to the viewers.
Thank you so much. And next up, guys, we have a dialogue with Ndate Steve Libello. We're having the history of Soweto. Thank you so much to everybody who joined us. Umoya Ulight, Umoya Upright.